Well, how much of it is about side choosing? I mean, you know, you're an economist, not a psychologist, but the two
Right.
disciplines are not entirely unrelated. And in fact, I think a psychologist recently won the Nobel Prize in economics, Danny Kahneman.
He did indeed.
But the how much of it is about the dynamics of group affiliation? A lot of reason to think that people naturally align themselves with groups. You can call it tribalism metaphorically, but it's not always a tribe literally, of course. It can be along national lines, ethnic lines, ideological lines, sports team lines, you know, and in Europe with these soccer games, you know, the intensity can rival that of ethnic hostility, you know. How much of what puzzles people on the left about support for Trump has to do with, you know, identifying your team, and after that, the rest is history, right? It's like, this guy's the leader of my team, period. And we really care about this game.
Well, that is kind of what I think I was just saying a moment ago about why it is that some people didn't peel away when he would do the outrageous things that he did. Another thing I think, I'm not answering you directly about the team business. I'm affirming that I think that's a piece of it, a non-trivial piece of it. Another thing, though, I thought was that, so Trump would say, to hell with the NATO alliance. They got to pay their own way. To hell with it. Now, the case for America bearing more than its, if you will, fair share of the burden of maintaining global public order, because that's what's held the world together since the end of World War II. No, I can't justify it in terms of a kind of rational self-interest of the United States as a nation. It's the role we're playing, and we're proud to play it. Somebody says America first, to which a very good answer, I think, could be composed along that, no, not America first. I can understand Teddy Roosevelt saying that, but we're not going to say that in the 21st century, faced with nuclear proliferation, faced with pending climate change, faced with, you know, the well-being of humanity is poorly served by America first. 5% more welfare for America could come at the price of 50% less welfare for 3 billion people. That's not a trade worth making. Somebody who says, you say we can't have a country if we don't have a border. I say that border down there, yeah, you know, I grant you it can be porous from time to time, but you know what? There's a lot of flowing back and forth across that border. A lot of Americans depend upon the flowing back and forth, illegal and illegal, across that border. We're eating the vegetables that these people pick, and so forth and so on. There's a history here. Viewing our situation vis-a-vis our neighbors to the south over a period of 100 years, it's a very bad move for us to pull up the drawbridge right now. Yes, we have to have laws. They need to be enforced. Let's talk about what we're going to do about that. But let's kill the rhetoric about building a wall on that border, not because of some functional utilitarian calculation about how many immigrants are going to come, but because that's not really the way we want to present ourselves to the rest of the world, and so on. Okay? I never heard those arguments. What I'm saying is, I never, the impulse to react to Trump in characterological terms, he's a bad person, forgoes the opportunity to rebut and refute the substantive arguments that he's making. Nobody is bringing those jobs back. I'm talking about the ones that have gone to places where the wage rate is $3 an hour rather than $30 an hour. They're never coming back. Those jobs are not coming back. Let me say it another time. Those jobs are gone. Globalization is what it is. Okay? Now, we need a plan to adapt to the reality of the fact that those jobs are gone. But the idea that they got stolen by somebody and that they're going to be brought back is just a fallacy. I don't recall a vigorous engagement with the deeply problematic, substantive content of Trump's platform. Rather, I think people thought, and I think Hillary Rodham Clinton continues to think, and she may be proven right about this in the end, that the most effective way to deal with him was not to give credence to and enter down into the weeds of debating this or that point of substance, but instead to say, He's not the guy that we want with the nuclear codes. A lot is riding on that strategy working right now.
Yeah, and she also said, you know, he's a bigot and he's a misogynist and so on. And I think part of it is she's mindful of what her constituency in fact is. If she can get out the black vote and get out the Latino vote and get women, you know, fired up, she's in pretty good shape. And I think she's more or less seeding the non-college educated, you know, white, especially white male vote. So I think I got to think the politics have shaped her reaction, but I think you're right that it's her line has been basically, isn't this a bad man? Of course, in fairness, that's his line about all of his political rivals. Sure. Isn't this a horrible or stupid or ugly person? That, you know,
I agree, and she had better be right about this because a lot is riding on it.